Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well too. So the progress on the foot is swelling is going down. Um, I manually, and I'll try to show you. I manually bend the toes back and forward gently, right? I still can't. I can bend the toe a little bit. I'm gonna try to show you. See? Overlook the white stuff on my foot. That's deodorant. I don't like stinky feet. That's kind of gross. So the white stuff is deodorant. But anyway, so my toe, my big toe cannot, it cannot bend completely, but it's bending a little bit because there was a point in time where it didn't bend even as much as it is now. But twice a day or whenever I think about it, I will manually, it don't feel good. I'm doing it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, stretch, baby, stretch. 8, 9, 10. Don't want those muscles to freeze up on you, and even though you're healed, your muscles have not only atrophied, but they will not do what you want them to do. It is a slow process. Healing is a slow process because, again, all your weight is on your feet. So it's kind of a slow healing process. This is the boot. I think I might have showed you guys before. Me and this sucker are buddies. I don't know how I did this. I might have fell. I fell a few times. So it's been lots of fun. And there's a air thing. You could pump air into it, and I do. And a release valve right next to it. And sometimes I'll manually press the air out because it doesn't always dispel all the air out. So I'll press and there will still be like little pockets of air if you want all the air out. So I'll put my hand in here and then I'll press into it at the same time I am pressing on the release valve, and it gets the rest of the air out. So it's out now. All of it's out now. But yeah, we're buddies until January, beginning of January, when I can see my doctor. Okay. So that's the update. I just want to give you guys a quick update. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what are you guys' passions? What hobbies do you have that you absolutely love? And if you don't have a hobby that you love, maybe it's high time you did, that you got one. Mine are boating, horseback riding. I think I might have told you guys about a few mishaps I had with horseback riding. Oh, one of them was a long time ago when I was horseback riding, which my chiropractor said, no more of that with your spine having issues and you have chronic pain, no more of that. Of course, I sneaked and did one, and, it was a long time ago, years ago. But anyway, shh, don't tell him because he'll get mad. Anyway, so one of them, he took off so fast because he wanted to be done with the ride. He was tired. He was probably hungry or whatever. He wanted to be done with the ride. He was done. He was just tired. Okay. So he took off running and almost threw me because he was running so fast and I wasn't prepared. Next thing you know, I am hanging off of him and I'm holding on to his mane with dear life. I'm like, if I go, you come in too. Which wouldn't be good if he fell on top of me. That'd be bad. Probably end up broken legs. Not like I haven't been down that road before. So I just kind of hung there on his side all of me. One leg is halfway on top and the other rest of me is just hanging. And eventually he allowed me to climb back on him. Another time, a horse tried to kick me. He did not want me riding him. He wanted his owner to ride him. So I was trying to go into the trail in the woods where she was. She says, come on. I was like, okay, cool. She said, I like the way you handle yourself. So come on, let's go. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, the first time what happened was she was going to open the gate so we could go through. And I said, I'll do it. So I got off him and I opened the gate. And I tried to get back on him. He switched his hip like that and raised his foot. And I know what that means. He's trying to kick me. And I said no. And I pushed him. And I said no. He did it again. I said no. So she got off of her horse and she scolded him. And she took him by the face and she said, we don't do that. We don't act like that. Well, horses are little kids. They have fits when they don't get their way. And so as soon as she got back on the other horse, which made the other horse mad, her horse mad, he tried to kick me again. So what I did was I jumped on him so fast he didn't have the opportunity to kick me. And she said, well, that's good because you don't want to let him know he's the boss. So then, oh, don't you even worry. He had another trick up his sleeve. Don't you even think he don't. He took off running across the field like his feet were on fire. Now I know what to do. I know what I've been trained to do. But I freaked. I panicked because I didn't expect that. So, excuse me. So what happened was he took off running like a bat out of hell. My eyes got this big. And I'm like, and he was heading towards the trail in the woods, which is not a nice trail. It's very nature with big rocks, boulders sticking out of the ground, tree branches crisscrossing, and I freaked. And then the logical part of my brain said, you better get it together. Because if you don't, you're going to fall and get paralyzed or worse. So I went ahead and I pulled the reins and I said, stop. And he ignored me and I pulled again and he said, stop. And I said stop. And I pulled the reins as hard as I could. And his head jerked back and he stopped on a dime. And she said, are you okay? I said, yeah, we're good. But if he could intimidate me, then he knows he's in control. So if he continues to do bad things and I allow him, or he could sense that I'm scared, they can feel in your body your tension and your fear and your hesitation because you're on their back. They can feel that. So if they sense that, they're going to get worse. If you don't take control, they're going to get worse. So that could have been a very serious mishap for me, and thank goodness he stopped. But I'll never forget those. And every incident prior to that was not like that. Pardon me again, sorry guys. Every incident prior was very calm and peaceful, enjoyable. The longest I went was me and some friends. We went for 2 hours, and I thought I'm not going to be able to walk tomorrow, but I don't care because, this is what I love. So, yeah. Sometimes what you love and what has never caused you a problem before can cause you permanent problems. And what I mean by that is there's a lady called Pro Tips for Paras, meaning people who are paralyzed, paraplegic. So her and some friends, always, good Lord, I'm sorry. Her and some friends jumped off this bridge, and they've always done it. They've always done it. And unfortunately, This particular day, she jumped off the bridge and she was instantly paralyzed. She said, I felt a tingle go through my entire body and I couldn't move. I was floating on top of the water face down and I couldn't move. And I'm trying to hold my breath for as long as I can. Thankfully, her friends noticed that she wasn't moving and they went to get her and they said, are you okay? She said, no. They said, the person said, is it bad? She said, yeah. So I think they were in a remote area and it took a while for the ambulance to get there. They have to get the helicopter there and everything because the hospital that was in the area is not equipped to deal with that type of extensive injury. And she eventually got treatment for it and everything. I mean, I don't remember how long she was in the hospital for, but I'll try to post her in the description. I'll try to put her video. She's a likable person. She's really nice. She's in Canada, and I think it's, like I said, I think it's called Pro Tips for Paras. And Kayak Cliff is on YouTube, okay? And he goes on location. That's his thing, kayaking. And he goes on location and he teaches you about the history of that particular body of water and the towns in the area. And he goes on this whole thing. Well, there was a huge ladder at one point, and I don't know if that's to help adjust the sails on the sailboat or what, but it's huge on the dock thing. And he said, oh, I'd love to jump off that. And I'm thinking to myself, that's probably not something you want to do. People have jumped from lesser heights and ended up hurting themselves. Now, for people who say things like, I've always done it, my whole group has always done it, none of us have gotten hurt, we all had a great time, we've been doing this for years, on and on and on. Okay, great. Here's the problem with that. All it takes is one time that you did it again, and that was the last time you'll do it. Do you want to take that kind of chance? Do you want to take that kind of chance and have your luck run out? I wouldn't want to do it. Okay. That's too extensive of an injury, permanent injury, to sign up for. Oh, forget it. Russian roulette. I'll play games with my life. I don't care. Really? That's not smart. But people always get overly confident, just like they get overly confident with the ocean and the water, lake, ocean. It don't matter. Oh, we've been coming here for years, and I am a lifeguard, and I know how to do all the different swim whatevers. It don't matter. It don't matter. All it takes is one time being the wrong time. So I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. I'm just saying if there's like 100 people that always jumped, and 10 people became paralyzed, or even 5, I don't want to be in that percentage of 5 or 10 people that it happened to. Okay. Because you cannot get too confident when it comes to certain things, because if you land the wrong way, that's it. That's it. So you gotta be careful. And there's something called, I want to say it's called transverse myelitis, I believe, inflammation of the covering of the spinal cord, I think. There were people who are, physically fit, very young, thinking they're invincible, and they were, what was he doing? Skiing, water skiing, or surfing? I think he was surfing. And the way he was holding his legs, it pinched off, the position of his body pinched off nerves in his spinal cord, and he became paralyzed that way. I don't remember if it was permanent or not. But, you know, these are the kind of things that happen. And, you know, what you're doing might be fun, but at what cost? At what cost? You got to be careful. Let me see. I want to say, let me look here. Bear with me, guys. Surfing. Spinal cord. Oops. It'd be nice if I knew how to spell. That'd be totally great. All right, so let's talk about it. This guy that it happened to, he is probably, and he's not the first person it happened to either. He's probably 19 or 20. So, I'm going to tell you what it's called. Well, I got part of it right. It's called surfer's myelopathy. SM, surfer's myelopathy. It's a rare spinal cord injury that can occur while surfing. Symptoms: SM causes acute paraparesis or progressive neurological deficits that begin with back pain after surfing. SM is thought to be caused by spinal ischemia or reduced blood flow triggered by hyperextension of the spine. This can happen when transitioning from prone to standing on a surfboard. Who it affects? SM, which is surfer's myelopathy. It almost exclusively affects first-time surfers or people who don't regularly participate in vigorous sports. Diagnosis: spinal magnetic resonance, which is MRI, imaging, can show changes consistent with spinal cord ischemia. There is no effective treatment protocol for SM, so prevention is the best way to avoid it. Emergency physicians, surfing instructors, and gymnastic educators should be aware of SM. Okay? So basically, the position of the person's body pinched off blood flow to the spinal cord. So surfer's myelopathy is a rare non-traumatic spinal cord injury associated with hyperextension of the back. SM derives its nomenclature from cases in which young novice surfers experience back pain followed by progressive neurological deficits. So we're not saying don't have a good time. We're just saying be careful. Because you could do anything, you could do anything that is so much fun and you've done it a million times before and you never had a problem, And one time your luck runs out. And the same thing with water. I've heard people say, oh, I'm a great swimmer. And I was a lifeguard and this and that. Mother Nature doesn't care if you've got trophies for being a lifeguard or for being such a great swimmer. You could almost go into the Olympics. Mother Nature's like, okay, and all it takes is one situation, one time, where things went left, and now it's a done deal. The effects are permanent, or potentially permanent. I know a friend of mine and her man, they went on a float trip. Somehow she ended up in I believe it was a root wad. That's something you want to avoid. Anything down in the water, any type of debris, weirs, which are like small dams and larger dams, trees in the water, root wads, which are huge from trees, I think she fell into a root wad and she could not get out of it. And she was trying not to panic, okay? So she said something in her head told her to make herself smaller. So she made herself smaller and she managed to get herself out of it. But it was terrifying for her and her man and whoever else knew that, wait a minute, where the heck did Nikki go? Where's Nikki? Why is it taking her so long to get out of there? So these are things you have to avoid on the water. And like Ken Whiting said, He's with Paddle TV on YouTube. He's world trained, champion paddler, wrote books, knows about canoeing, kayaking, whatever. He's just, you know, born to paddle. He knows he teaches safety on the water and everything. And he said, two things you want to avoid, like the bubonic plague, and this is coming directly from his mouth, the bubonic plague. One thing you want to avoid on the water is dams and weirs. You don't want nothing to do with that. Because there's a severe hydraulic force that will pull you in and spin you and spin you and spin you, and you will never be able to get out of it. And that's how people drown. So on one hand, it might look tempting. Person wants to take their boat and kind of swoop through there. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. He said avoid them like the bubonic plague, or like the plague. Either one, okay? Because neither one of them are good. And when someone's that experienced with that type of thing, he's a world champion paddler, knows everything. He'd been teaching about it since he was 17 years old. Now he's married with a kid, and he's got so much experience that it's just unreal. So listen to what he's saying, because he knows. But yeah, so you might, and I'm sure a lot of people have done it, take their canoe or their kayak and they go swoop through there. And unfortunately, the force of the water is so powerful with a weir or a dam that it does this violently underneath, and it will not let you go. It will not let you go. So that's bad, right? So these are situations that usually nothing goes wrong, but when it does, it could be really, really, really bad. So anyway, you guys take care. I'm sore and I'm running out of Tylenol, which really sucks. I'll have to get some, and I keep forgetting to get some because I'm just so smart that way. Yeah, I definitely have to get some more medicine. My foot is quite sore. Yeah. So anyway, you guys take care. Enjoy your life. Have fun. Enjoy your hobbies. Learn new hobbies. You never know what strikes your fancy. You try it once and you're like, you know what? That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Just be careful and be smart. Okay? I remember, I gotta tell you this quick story. I remember I was in Louisiana with some friends, okay? And I wasn't too bright, okay? So we went to the lake and we're making barbecue and, we're enjoying, we're swimming in the lake, we're having a good time. Well, it's getting darker and darker outside and the weather's about to pop it off. And I'm like, whatever. So they jump out the water. I said, why y'all jumping out the water? You're wet anyway. What difference does it make? Until the lightning came. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm out. Water and electricity doesn't mix, right? So I jumped out the water real quick, and they're like, yeah. Figured you'd get a wake-up call. Because I'm thinking that they jumping out the water because it's going to rain. Well, you already wet, so what? Who cares? Until the thunder and the lightning, and especially the lightning, and it's time for me to go, and they're like, yeah. Right. I remember another time oh God, it was so funny. There was a kid there, and we're all adults. We're supposed to be acting like adults, but we weren't because we were having a food fight. We were having a food fight. I remember one of them, Michael, he had a white t-shirt on. Honey, it looked like he had some type of severe injury. It looked like his whole t-shirt was blood, which it wasn't. It was from him getting pelted with watermelon pieces. His whole shirt was reddish pink. I was laughing. I mean, good memories, good times. Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And then another time, because I was being really, really bad, we were at a friend's house, and they had a porch, like a deck up high, and some people were standing outside talking. So I got this bright idea. I'm going to get a huge pot. I'm going to fill it with water and I'm going to chuck it on them from above. Well, that's all well and good. My problem is I see the water falling on them before I actually do it, and I bust out laughing, and I can't stop laughing, and I can't freaking breathe, and my legs are weak, and then they could hear you laughing. So when they see what you're trying to do, they're going to get out the way. So if I could just stop, not laugh until after it's done, I'd be good. But I foresee the response of the water dunking on their head, and I'm laughing hysterically, and that prevents me from doing what I'm trying to do. So that was disappointing. I really wanted to nail them. uh, I've had water fights with other friends. I lost by a wide margin. I freaking lost. It wasn't cool. I had another string fight with another friend, and I looked like an insect in a spider's web. I mean, I had string from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. And it was so funny. This was when we went to Mardi Gras. Honey. So we're in the crowd. We start having a string fight. So everybody in the crowd backed up and they were just spectators. They were all watching. Well, he nailed me good. And this guy, and I said, "You got more string in your can." And this guy goes, "Ma'am, you're losing by a wide margin." Oh, it was bad. I'm telling you, I had string literally from top of my head to the bottom of my feet. Oh my God. Good times, good times. Anyway, you guys take care. See you next time. Bye.